I have a major announcement right now. So the whole month is White History Month from now on. Happy White History Month.
It's White History Month. I'm gonna celebrate with my friends. It's White History Month. So be sure to tell everyone there will always be different months to celebrate. This month's gonna be White History.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with me. I absolutely appreciate it. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this day, this week, and it's a doozy. The biblical question: have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen God? Have you? I want to know, have you ever seen God? We have every way that you can support and watch the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're busy trying to find your lost luggage at the airport, trying to get to and from your destinations by a plane, the wheels are falling off the planes, the mechanical work, cleanup work is not that good on the plane, and you're scared. If you're dealing with near miss, or you're about to drop from the sky on the plane because it's DEI now, you still could be listening to the show. Just call the number on TalkStream Listen Live, TalkStream Live, and you can be listening to the show no matter what your condition is. The doors could be falling off the plane because we have DEI now. But you still can be listening by calling the listen line and TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. 605-615-4131. You could even be listening if you're thinking about voting for a DEI so-called president. We have a DEI vice president now. Isn't that amazing? Grandpa tell me about the good old time. But anyway, To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. A Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. It's Friday. And for those who might not be aware, every Friday, okay, it's Friday. And for those who might not be aware, every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Day, meaning that you talk about what you want to talk about. Every Friday is Express Yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
We are all in this together, and your vote is your power.
Can I get an amen?
And remember, you better vote.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Nah, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more.
She just flew in from the cuckoo's nest.
Equitable distribution.
And boy, is she crazy.
The border is secure.
Meantime, in Beverly Hills, 5 people are behind bars after an armed robbery.
We have
What the?
a secure border.
You ain't getting this. I don't cook, and girls rule, bitch.
Wow. That's the DEI vice president. Very nice. The anchorman put that together. They need to send it over to Donald Trump. We now have a DEI vice president, meaning an affirmative action president, not qualified, zero qualification, has proven she doesn't know what she's doing, doesn't know what she's saying. She's a one that flew over the cuckoo nest. But she's DEI. I've been told that Kamala Harris was on RuPaul's Drag Race. Oh, where'd you get that from, Joe?
That intro to that video, that's her and at
that's
RuPaul. Yeah.
Oh, that's RuPaul?
She's on RuPaul's show there.
What?
Announcing her campaign.
Talking about desperation. She's trying to get every vote she can, huh? What? Going down into the gates of hell and calling on the children of the darkness to vote for her. Well, we'll see what come November. We will see come November. We will see come November. So before I go to the calls here, you know that the Democrats are desperate to try to maintain power. And they have gone so far left that even the old-timer Democrats don't know where the Democratic Party is located now. They so far. It's like they're way out yonder to lunch, dinner, and breakfast. And they just don't know what to do with themselves. And they got to do a whole lot of cover-up and cleaning up in an effort to maintain their perceived power come November. Because believe me, They are desperate. And in California, homelessness is out of control. It's bad. And one thing I note about the homeless people too, the homeless people are some of the nasty, evil, ungrateful, spoiled, don't care human beings I ever seen. Really. They'll throw trash out in your parking lot, wherever, and walk away. They don't care. And now that they know that the government is going to take care of them, they're even worse. Homeless people are evil. They're the worst of the worst. And it's because their lives are already messed up. They're already losers, right? And then the government is spoiling them by giving them everything, and they're getting worse. They're not getting better. But that's what the government wants. They want it that way. So in California, according to ABC, California Governor Gavin Newsom issued an executive order on Thursday for the removal of homeless encampments. And that is because a Supreme Court decision earlier this summer allowed cities to enforce ban on sleeping outside in public spaces. Watch this from ABC 7.
Governor Newsom's order to clear homeless encampments across the state comes after a Supreme Court decision. But the governor stresses the dignity and safety of those experiencing homelessness is paramount.
Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes is live in Eagle Rock with more on the governor's action. Rob.
Yeah, it's been nearly a month since the Supreme Court ruling. The governor making a splash today with his executive order to clear out homeless encampments. And there is no shortage of camps to clear. California has an estimated 180,000 homeless people, more than any other state in the country. More than 75,000 of them are in L.A. County, 45,000 in the city of L.A.
Amazing. California has more bums on the street than any other city. And isn't it amazing that you have to go to court, to the Supreme Court, so in order for them to force the government to do the right thing and keep the bums off the streets? Isn't that amazing? And then there are stupid people out there fighting. They organize. They're for the bums. They're for the people on the street, to live on the street. So they're out there fighting for it. Those people need to be arrested because they're selfish. It's about them. They're trying to get a thrill by pretending that they want homeless people to live on the street. That's all that is. It's just for a thrill. And people who love thrills, they're about themselves. They don't care about you. They care about their thrills. Whatever it takes to get them. May God have mercy on our soul. My country is gone. Happy White History Month, by the way. My country is no longer tears of thee. Isn't that something? They had to go to court. And the court said, no, you got to get them off the street. And now Governor Newsom coming along as though he wanted to do that. That's the last thing Governor Newsom wanted to do in California. I remember when the president of China, one of those countries, came over, and up in San Francisco, they cleaned off a part of the streets just like that. just like that. They had everyone to go out and clean up. And as soon as the person left and went back to his country, they dumped those homeless people back into the streets. The city of LA itself has more than half the homeless population than the 88 cities of LA County. Can you imagine that? Because it's hot, beautiful weather out here. Government program for the bums. I mean, you can live outside and still be warm and comfortable because California has amazing weather. Why not go to California? You get free drugs, free pot, free everything. Amazing. 888-7753-773. My America is gone. And I know y'all don't like hearing that. But if you really, really, really look around and pay attention and don't be in denial, you will see that my country is gone. We're a third world country now. They can even attempt to assassinate the Republican candidate for president and get away with it. Isn't that what they do in third world countries? What's the difference? They can even have the Allahu Abba people in our country, on our land, chanting death to America and praise the so-called Allahu Abba. Allahu Abba, they say. And they say, death to America. Amazing. 888-77, just my country is gone. Do you believe me now? Can you hear me now? Death to America. Death to Israel, they say. And Allahu Abba, they can paint up the statues in Washington, D.C., right down the road from the White House. They can even take down the American flag and put up the Allahu Abba flag and then set American flag on fire and they can be cursing while they're burning the American flag and nothing happens. On the soil, not over in their foreign countries, but on American soil. And then the American government pretend that they care about the men who died so that America can be free. They pretend that, they even say to the military men, when the military men say, oh, I served in World War, whatever, oh, God bless you, thank you. Thank you for serving. Thank you for your time. All phony. They don't mean that at all. It just feels good to say it. It just feels good. Let me go to first-time caller out of Houston, Texas, Robert. Robert, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, sir, Mr. Peterson. How are you?
All is well, Robert.
I have to come to you and admit that I have been straight up beta.
Beta?
I have been straight up beta, and I had just discovered your show not too long ago, literally about a week ago, so I'm not too familiar about everything that goes on within your show. I just love your messages, and I love the way you talk about God and how you talk about men. And I have been in a fallen state, Mr. Peterson.
I understand.
I recently went through a sudden breakup because I made a woman my God. And I feel like my God has been taken away from me, and I feel empty. And I just feel that I thought that I had it under control. I thought that with my previous relationships and my previous experiences in my life, I thought that things were going the way how I thought it was going to go, just for me to find out that I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it's been very difficult for me because I'm trying to stay grounded and I'm trying to stay still. But my ego literally feels like it's actually dying. And my question to you is, what is the best way I can go on here from here on forward that I can be able to see better days again and be closer to God again?
When you say your ego feel like it's dying, what do you mean by that?
It means that it feels like who I once was before, what I once thought was correct, what I once thought was the right answer. I realized that none of it was correct. All of my assumptions were wrong, and I really don't know as much as I think I know.
But what does the ego death feel like?
It feels like a spiritual reawakening, but a lot of pain. It feels like a new beginning is coming for me, but it has to crumble first.
And so your question for me is what?
Is how can I be able to get closer back to God and remove this woman as my God and move on once and for all?
Was it your wife or your girlfriend?
She was my serious girlfriend that I had. She was living with me, which was another mistake. I shouldn't have had a woman live with me if I wasn't married to her. And we went through hard times together. You know, her father just died recently, and you know, we just were at the hip next to each other. You know, we spend the night every night. We would wake up in the morning. We would try to do whatever we could to act like a normal couple, if you could say that.
How old are you?
And I'm 25 years old, Mr. Peterson.
And so did you spend money on her?
Unfortunately, yes.
What made you think, and then I'll answer the question about the ego death. What made you think it was right or normal to spend money on a woman that's not even your wife? Because even with your wife, you can't just spend a lot of money on her. You should not. But what made you think that a woman was going to respect you, knowing that you would just spend your money on her, let her live with you? What made you think it was okay to do that? A man should never spend money on a woman like that. What made you think it was okay?
I agree. I 100% agree. And the reason why I felt like I did that was because I felt like I was almost like bribing for some type of attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, to feel like if I were to do this, then perhaps it would show that I really do care about this person. I really do love this person, even if it was something very small, because in my mind, I would think, okay, I'm trying to be thoughtful. You know, we have little hobbies together, so I would maybe buy a little thing from here and there, and then I realized that I'm just buying this person's love.
Yeah. Well, you're not even buying her love because she doesn't even have love. She doesn't love you, never has. She cannot love you. It was fake on both your side and her side. It was never real.
I agree.
And
that's where...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying that I agree. It's just that's where a lot of the pain and the realization is coming from. It's me realizing that it was never love.
Yeah.
And that essentially I just wasted my time.
Why did you break up?
We broke up because, well, actually, from one day to the next, we were fine one night, you know, calling me, telling me that she loved me, I miss you, I miss your smell, and then the next, not even 10 hours later, she tells me I have no more feelings for you, this is done, this is over, so just like that, really. You know, we already were going through a rough time as it was, you know, since her father died.
Yeah.
But even before her father died, you know, she was already kind of a little bit more distant, a little bit more hostile towards me. But I just figured, okay, we'll stick it out and things will be better. But then I was just dropped on, not even like a few days ago, from one day to the next, just like that, Jesse.
Well, that's how all relationships are. So here's your way out if you want to be free and never have to go through this again. If you do what I tell you, I promise you, you will never have to endure this again, and the ego will die. Right now, you have ego pain because you don't have anything or anyone there to cover up the pain. You don't have anyone there to cover up the emptiness, the hurt, the death of the ego. And because all marriages, all relationships get together to cover up the false self, to cover up the ego. That's why you were together. It would never anything to do with love. And in order for us, all human beings, to be free, we must not replace that nothingness. We must not replace that emptiness with money, places, people, or things. You have to be able to endure the emptiness and put nothing there. And if you endure that, meaning that you watch it, don't try to cover it up by watching a movie or getting drunk or find some other woman. If you let that nothingness be, the Spirit of God will come and he will destroy, because that is evil. What you're feeling now is the evil spirits of the mind and emotions. And so if you let that be and just go about your daily life, doing your work, your practical work, and just watch it, I promise you the false self will be destroyed and you will never have to endure this again, because all those demons will be taken away from you and they will go and make a home in some other human being because they live in human beings, and you will be free. Do not replace that emptiness with anything or anyone.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I absolutely do. No women, no drugs, no drinking, no nothing. Just replace it with the Spirit of God.
All you need to do is watch. Don't even say you're replacing it with the Spirit of God, because that's going to give your mind a false impression. All you need to do is just be still and let that happen with no ideas, no plan, and the Father would take care of it. Because if you say, well, I'm gonna replace this with the Spirit of God, then Satan is going to use your thoughts and imagination with that too. And he'll make you think you're doing it and you're not. Don't even think about that either. Take no thought about God or anything, but just watch. You want to become a watcher and not a thinker.
Yes, sir. That makes perfect sense.
And so do not call her. Do not go by to see her. If you should block her so she cannot contact you. And then stop calling yourself in love with her or anything, so all those identities can die and you will become a free man. You will experience the kingdom of heaven right here on earth. It would be amazing.
It would absolutely be amazing, Mr. Peterson. This is all I want.
Are you able to hold just for a minute?
Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. Let me take a quick break. 888-7753. 773. A quick break. Back in a moment.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man. Okay, welcome back. Brand new episode today at 12 noon. Brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. Amazing conversation with Jason Palmer. And he is a businessman and investor, who ran in the 2024 Democratic Party presidential primaries, and was the only Democrat to hand Joe Biden a defeat in 2024 primary election. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Our entire country needs to take the heat down and be willing to have dialogue.
Why are you a part of a party that's so evil?
I'm trying to ignore the fact that you call it an evil party. Sometimes I vote for Democrats. Sometimes I vote for Republicans.
Are you going to vote for the Great White Hope?
I'm not going to vote for him.
What the?
It's not the man's baby.
They kill the baby for breakfast if they've had sex tonight at dinner.
Half chimpanzee, half ape.
What the? When would enough be enough?
Well, that's a good question.
The Fallen State today at 12 noon, thefallenstate.tv. And you can support The Fallen State right there by going to thefallenstate.tv/donate or locals. Click on the description of that link and you'll see locals and support them there. At 9 a.m., the HakeReport.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. From 9 to 11. You don't want to miss it. James Hake is on fire. It's amazing. And at 4 p.m., the American anchor baby. He can't hide. The American anchor baby flying high. Natural energy given to him by God. At 4 p.m. And then Sunday morning fellowship. We are in L.A. A lot of people don't know we're in L.A. We have Sunday fellowship right here in L.A. If you're in the L.A. area, come on down. Or you can watch it live by going to rebuildingtheman.com/church. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Doors open at 10:30. I want to go back quickly to Robert. We're going to get to all of your calls today. It is Open Line Friday. So, Robert.
Yes, sir.
So, do you understand the only reason, the primary reason you had that woman in your life, you were trying to cover up? I hear a lot of noise. Are you in your car or something?
Yes, sir. Sorry, Mr. Christian. I'm driving to work.
Oh, okay. So you're on the speakerphone?
No, I'm just on my regular phone now. I took off the speakerphone.
Okay. That the only reason that you had that woman in your life was to cover up the emptiness that you feel when you don't have someone or something in your life. It was never because of her, or she never had you in her life because of you. Both were using each other to fulfill that emptiness. It never was love or anything.
Yes.
And so
I 100% agree.
And now that you are at this point again where you feel that loss, that emptiness, like something is missing, do not replace it with anyone or anything. You got to go through this so you can die from the false self, the false illusions, the ego death, and you shall become a free man, and life will be amazing. So if you don't want to ever go through this again, you got to let this die.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And especially when you say that I didn't have anything fulfilled and I tried to fill this void with this woman.
Yeah.
You know, just to kind of give more of a personal part from my backstory, just real quick, I had a fiancée at one point, and she died from cancer. She was from Russia. She was a very wonderful woman. And she was getting treatment here in the United States, and when I volunteered to come help her here in Houston, you know, I basically fell in love with her, you know, and I did as much as I could for her, and then she unfortunately passed away. And then ever since then, you know, it's almost like that woman became my God as well.
Yeah.
I've been trying to fill this void for years now, trying to find some type of family with this false perception of family that I believe could happen. And I never really truly healed from it.
Well, and now you have a chance. If you don't fulfill this with another woman or money or people or places, that emptiness will be fulfilled and you will be a free man. And you did not fall in love with the Russian woman either. You fell in hell with her and you called it love. And she never loved you either. Human beings use each other in the same way they use drugs or alcohol or whatever. They use each other to try to avoid the death of the ego. They don't want to feel like nothing. They don't want to feel that emptiness. They don't want to feel, so they listen to the imagination and they find somebody to cover their hell up, but it doesn't last because as soon as you get with someone, it's going to be fine for a while. It seemed to be fine, it's not. And then sooner or later, all the hell going to come through again. The fight start, the control start, and it's time to end that, man. So go. Are you doing the silent prayer?
I've heard about the silent prayer, but I haven't been on the show long enough to know too much information about it. I would love to know about it.
Okay, I want you to go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. That's rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. And I start doing that today or tonight and do it every morning, every night so that while going through this emptiness, don't replace the emptiness with anything, man. Endure the emptiness, right? And do the silent prayer and watch those thoughts and emotions. Thoughts and all emotions, good or bad, are all lies all the time. So do the silent prayer and watch this death happen. Hello? All right, Robert.
Yes, Mr. Peterson. I'm sorry. It cut off for a second.
Oh, okay. So go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer and start doing that and let yourself go through the pain because it's not happening to you. It's happening to the false you. And you'll be fine, but you got to endure now. Don't find another woman or anything or anyone to fulfill this with.
Yes, sir. I will 100% agree.
Let me know how it goes.
Yes, sir. I'll call back for sure.
All right, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. You have a wonderful day.
You too. That emptiness is what you got to go through, folks. Human beings, men and women, don't come together out of love. They don't love each other. It's that not wanting to feel nothing. They don't want to feel like nothing. They don't want that emptiness. And then that's why they fight. because they want to replace that emptiness with something or someone. And it's never love. Human beings don't love each other. They don't have love to give. And in order to be free, you got to be willing to leave, to have nothing. Meaning don't cover up the ego with anything or anyone. Rod is a first-time caller out of South Carolina. Rod, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
All is well, Rod. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I have a spiritual question for you.
Okay.
I kind of can relate to the previous caller as well.
Yes.
Because I also feel the emptiness with either women or sex or just, external things to kind of like fly away from that emptiness feeling.
Yes.
And I wanted to get a permanent solution instead of trying to just putting a Band-Aid on it and then knowing it's going to come off. So I just try to find another Band-Aid to put over it.
Yeah.
But I have a couple of questions for you, actually.
Okay.
One of them is, why is it hard for me to stay with the silent prayer? Because it's like I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it for maybe like a week straight. And then maybe the next 2 days, I won't do it. And then I'll start again. And then I'll stop again. Like, what is it that I don't know what it is? Like, I've always tended to start something but not follow through with it, not finish it. And I don't like it at all. However, it still happens. So I'm just trying to figure out, what is it? What is that?
Number one, you stop doing it because you still love your misery. You're not totally ready to be free. And then number two is you listen to the voice of evil, which is your God telling you, oh, you're okay now, you feel better. Oh, you don't have to do it this morning. You don't have to do it now, you can do it later. You still listen to the voices of evil and calling it you.
Yeah, I understand that.
But once you really get sick of the hell that you're living in and want to overcome it, you're gonna commit to being still and allow God to take over. Because that's what the silent prayer is. It brings you out of the darkness of your emotions. All emotions, good or bad, are evil. It brings you out of that by bringing you out of the thoughts, because you can't have the emotions unless you have the thoughts first. And you're going to see that those thoughts are evil. So no matter how painful it gets, no matter how lazy you feel about it, or the devil tell you don't have to do it right now, just pay that no attention and put it first. Seek the kingdom first. Learn to be still first. And it'll become natural for you to do it.
Okay, I understand. My second question was, why is it easy for me to believe the thoughts and emotions instead of let them be? But you just answered it for me. So
yeah, you have identified when your mother traumatized you. Before she traumatized you, you were innocent. You knew God. You knew the truth. You just you confused on some of those things as a kid, but you knew God. And then when your mother traumatized you, you forgot who you were, and you have amnesia. You forgot who you were, and you went into the darkness of your imagination, and you've been living there ever since.
Right. Okay, I understand that.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I have. I've forgiven my mother and my father. And I actually did that before I went into active duty. And whenever I did that, I didn't feel any difference. However, once I did it, I continued to do the silent prayer and continue to just watch all of what the thoughts was telling me. You made her mad whenever you whenever you said that you forgave her for resentment, cause, etc. And even though she did have a have a reaction to it, or like the words was too colorful. You know, it was just like, just pay attention to what's being said, not the meaning of the words or whatever.
Yes.
The thoughts was telling me, you should have chose a different word to use so you can easily let her understand. Like, you understand what I mean.
I do.
Yes, sir. I did. I did forgive her, and I also forgave my father. And it was the total opposite with my father. He understood.
Yeah.
But see, the thing was with my father, I was rejecting his love for a long time because I was staying with my mother for the majority of the time.
Yeah.
Like between maybe 17 to 21, or maybe a little bit younger than that. But as I was doing that, and the conflict that I was having with my father, it was detrimental.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just stay away from. Hopefully, it'll go away. But then I couldn't stay away from my father. I would always go back. And it was a moment where I had like a revelation come over me. It was like, this is your father. Like, he is dealing with things as well as you are too. He has a past as well as you have. And he's probably not forgiving people as well as you have too.
Yeah.
So why judge him? Because with me judging him, I'm judging myself.
100%.
And I'm used to, yes, sir. And I'm used to judging myself because I've always been told that I'm hard on myself. And I understand it because I want myself to be the best at everything. However, that's I don't think that's realistic.
Right.
So with me doing that, I forgave him. I forgave him before I even heard about you and what you preach and how you teach to go back to within, to the teacher within.
Yes.
I did that before, so I have an understanding of what the truth is. It's just I just can't seem to follow through with it. I just believe the thoughts, and it's and I you know what, I was about to say I hate it. I sincerely do hate it, and that may be something I need to let go as well.
Absolutely.
I hate not following through things. I hate not following through. I hate not committing to something and really sticking through it, no matter how lazy it is, quote unquote lazy, or how I don't think that it's working. Just still continue to do it. I hate not doing it. And I want to figure out what's a permanent solution for it.
As of this day, this moment, stop hating anything. It's enough to don't have an opinion about it, good or bad, right or wrong. If you're not completed something, just realize you didn't complete it. But don't call yourself a name. Don't regret it. Don't resent it, and just get up and do it. But you got to drop all ideas. You got to drop hate. You got to drop anger. Otherwise, you're keeping yourself in hell, because anyone that has regret, anyone that has anger is worshiping the devil. Satan is their God. Right. And that's why you cannot worship God, the true God, and the false God, Satan. So drop your ideas about that. All that stuff is just ego.
Yes, sir. I understand.
It's all
one more question, and I'm going to let you go.
Okay, well, let me just say this. Okay. Even when you miss a day from doing the silent prayer, don't have an opinion about that either. Just realize you didn't do the prayer, but don't call it good or bad. Don't call yourself names. Just go back to the prayer. That's all.
Okay, I understand. I understand that completely.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You say
and,
yeah, go ahead.
This was yes, sir. It is a question, but it's more of like a comment than anything.
Okay.
As when I have to do something, and this happened to me. It's not a backstory. It's just kind of like a long story short. I was dealing with someone, and the hell came out of them, and I didn't see it coming. And when the hell came out of them, it slapped me in the face, and I heard about you whenever that happened. And whenever I was listening to your previous videos dated back to 2017, 2018, and also recent from the time that I was dealing with him, I heard about the silent prayer, and I was doing it. And as I was doing it, I felt like I was being being pulled away from this individual.
Yes.
And it was showing because she didn't have the control over me that she wanted, because I was like, I had, Mr. Peterson, this feeling that I had whenever I heard of you, and it was a moment of hell that happened. And I just sat still in my car, and I was like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to just die. Just take me now. I'm going to just let go of everything.
Right on.
Mr. Peterson, once that happened, I got released.
Yes.
Both spiritually and physically, I got released from this individual. But for the question I have with that, whenever it's something conflicting me or whatever that is, I go on the straight and narrow. However, whenever it's nothing there to conflict me, it's like I'm in and out of it. It's like, oh, I can do it, or it's like, well, I didn't. I'm pretty good at it now, so, all is well. But it sincerely isn't. However, I just can't seem to, fluff that out, even though all is well or all is not well. Even though all is not well, all is still well because I have no worries. But it's like I still can't seem to go through it, even whenever there's nothing to conflict me or there's that emptiness that the previous caller was talking about. When I have that emptiness there, I still can't seem to stay with it.
I know exactly what you mean. And when the devil tell you all is well, let's say you don't have the conflict right at this moment, right? And the devil tell you all is well, he is lying to you. All is not well. You do the silent prayer and watch anyway. And then you will see that this false illusion that the devil is deceiving you with, that would be made clear to you, and that would be taken away from you as well. Whenever he tell you all is well, all is not well.
Okay.
So again, don't get angry about not doing it. Just realize, oh, I thought all was well, so I stopped doing it. And don't overreact to it so you don't give life to it. It's enough to see it, but it's evil to do something about it, to overreact.
I understand.
For an example, when they tell you all is well, so now you're not working on yourself, and then so you feel all good, you think all is well, and then as soon as you think that, he pounces on you with something else, right? And then you're gonna say, "Oh man, I thought all was well. I hate myself for not doing that, for believing that lie." Do not do that. Just enough to know that you were deceived by evil. But don't overreact to evil. You'll be fine.
Okay. I understand that.
So, Rod, just stay.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, but just stay with it no matter what. All thoughts are all lies about anything. So just stay with it and stop judging yourself and stop having ideas about what's going on.
Roger that, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. And your wisdom. I appreciate it.
You too, man, and amazing. Let me know how it goes.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Amazing call. Take care now. Amazing. 888-7753-773. I can't believe this hour gone. What? Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them. The blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. We have Obama. The Obamas are for cackling Kamala Harris. It's a mess. The presidential debate, what's going to happen with that? Trump is down to debate with, he's up for debating with cackling Kamala Harris. The homeless mess, the pretense of cleaning that up in California. Bibi's going to meet with Trump. Nice. And other stuff going on, the Paris Olympics, cartel leaders arrested. I'll tell you about that in Hake News, Not Fake News, this hour and probably next as well. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Friday, Express Yourself Friday, July 26th, AD 2024. The lines are full, guys. The lines are full. JLP will be right back to your calls and more stories. But first, Hake News, Not Fake News. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, reports that the worst president in history, Barack Obama, and former First Lady Michelle, not very ladylike, but she is a female, Michelle Obama, endorsed the so-called vice president cackling Kamala Harris, the second worst vice president, in a video released today, voting to nominate officially Kamala Harris as the Democrat nominee will likely begin August 1st as endorsements continue to pour in from prominent members of the party. What a mess, huh? The Trump campaign Thursday said that they would not commit to any future presidential debate until the Democrat Party formally chooses a nominee. Cackling Kamala Harris Thursday said she's ready, quote unquote, to debate our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Earlier this week, Trump said he absolutely wants to debate Kamala Harris. The Biden and Trump campaigns had agreed to a debate hosted by ABC on September 10th, but it's unclear if that will go on as planned. Fox News also had proposed a debate between Trump and Kamala Harris on September 17th, so we'll see what happens. Analysts say a Harris versus Trump debate could be the sort of showdown that would attract tens of millions of viewers and potentially change the trajectory of the race. We'll see what happens. Homeless encampments. California Governor Gavin Newsom, issued an executive order yesterday, directing officials, you heard it earlier this hour, to start removing homeless encampments. The order calls on state officials to adopt humane and dignified policies to urgently address they split their infinitive there, by the way, to address urgently encampments on state property. They don't care about the private businesses and the sidewalks and stuff like that. Homeless advocates, the radicals who are for homeless being bums and polluting our streets, they're expressing concern over the order's potential impact as thousands of people remain on a wait list for state-funded housing. Yeah, subsidize them. That'll help. California has the largest homeless population in the nation, more than 180,000 of the estimated 653,000 people experiencing homelessness nationwide residing in the Golden State. You think it's only like 500,000 or just over 500,000? According to a 2023 report to Congress from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. It's out of control. Seems like a whole lot more than just 600,000, but who knows? Netanyahu is going to meet with Trump. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu expected to meet with our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, in Florida today. The meeting comes after Netanyahu visited the black on the inside White House on Thursday, where crooked Joe Biden appeared forceful in urging Israel to accept a Gaza ceasefire agreement. Cackling Kamala Harris, the so-called vice president, she also met with Bibi Netanyahu, saying afterward that she urged the Israel leader to get a ceasefire deal done. Oh yeah, real tough lady. What a mess. What else is going on? Around 80 active wildfires are burning across the United States, including a blaze in eastern Oregon that scorched almost 270,000 acres, more than 500,000 acres. In California, the Park Fire in Butte and Tehama counties has charred over 160,000 acres, 3% contained per Cal Fire. There was a man accused of starting it. He was arrested for arson. We'll see. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP.
Somewhere in the world
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. Have you ever seen God? Excuse me. Have you ever seen God? I want to know. That's an amazing question. And go over there on Twitter, JLP Talk on X, and respond to the biblical question too. Have you ever seen God? You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad if you're busy and you're just not able to hear. I know you podcast. Yeah, you can podcast, but you could be listening while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing. You could be listening to the show, working out, laying up at a beach, whatever. Fighting on the airplane. Walking down the road, and some people walking behind you, hitting you on the head. Whatever you're doing. Buy some fentanyl or whatever. You can be listening on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line 605-615-4131, 605-615-4131. And also to donate, and we'll get into your super chats here in a minute. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a great alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
We are all in this together, and your vote is your power.
Can I get an amen?
And remember, you better vote.
What a mess.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Nah, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more.
She just flew in from the cuckoo's nest.
Equitable distribution.
And boy, is she crazy.
The border is secure.
Meantime, in Beverly Hills, 5 people are behind bars after an armed robbery.
We have a secure border.
You ain't getting this. I don't cook and girls rule, bitch.
Amazing. She have not gone to the border the last 5 years for sure. 3 or 4 years for sure. If she doesn't know, and there's some more on the way. Illegal aliens on the way. I want to, Hake is coming in. I forgot we got to do super chat. But in the meantime, I want to go to Jessica out of Texas. Jessica, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. First of all, happy White History Month.
Happy White History Month. July just feels white.
I just wanted to share a little story with you about something that happened to me this past weekend. My husband has been taking up golfing. It's just something that he really enjoys doing. And so in order for me to kind of spend a little bit more time with him, I took it up as well. So it's been raining a lot here in Texas, and he hasn't been able to go with his work schedule and everything. So we had an opportunity to go this past Saturday. We went. I had prior engagements like around 3 o'clock, so I had to leave at a certain time. Once it got to that time and I expressed, hey, we have to go because obviously we drove together. He was going to bring me home so I could take my car and do what I needed to do. And I could tell he didn't want to leave because, he had been waiting for that time for so long. And so I kind of just took it upon myself to say, well, maybe I can get a ride to the house because we don't live too far from the golf course, maybe like 6 minutes. And he was like, okay, if you don't mind. So immediately I got mad. Immediately I got angry. And I felt like even though I had suggested that I could find a ride, I was mad that he agreed with me. And so then what I did is I tried my best not to show that I was angry. So he drove me to there's a little space where you can take a break, come inside and cool down. And, he offered to buy me something to eat there, and he waited with me. I actually called my mother-in-law because she lives really close by us as well. We're all about maybe 5-6 minutes away from each other. And she was coming to pick me up and bring me home. And he waited with me. He kissed me. He thanked me for coming. And I just had to sit there and watch my anger at that moment. And that was the first time that I had actually, I'm not going to lie to you, that was the first time that I felt like maybe I was in a silent prayer to just watch anger and pretty much just say, you don't even like golf as much as he does. You just want to be here with him because you're jealous of the fact that you can't stay and he's not coming and being miserable with you. And I watched I watched those emotions, and then it passed. And then I felt like such a relief because I noticed, why am I being this way? How can I love someone and want them to be mad, be as sad or whatever as I am? That's evil. And so that was the first time that that's ever happened to me, and I'm 31. So I was just wow. And I think it's because of what you say. You say, watch the thoughts, they're not you. And it wasn't me, obviously. I love him. I know you say women don't have love, but, I watched my thoughts, and I didn't identify with them. I didn't get angry. I didn't overreact, physically outside of my, my emotions and my mind. Yeah. And when I expressed that to my husband, he was like, oh, okay. He kind of threw it off. It's because obviously he doesn't know what's going on inside of me. Right. But now I understand that my anger comes from jealousy. Yes. Anytime I get angry, it's because I'm jealous. And so I was just wow, that's I'm 31 and I'm barely realizing that. And you've helped me realize that. And I'm not identifying with jealousy or anger. And it's just such a very less stress-free life. And I was just I have to tell Jesse about this. Nice. You said you took up golfing so you could be with him? Yes, and now I think I noticed that it's really just because I just want to be with, just me wanting to include myself in everything that he does, and that's selfish. Absolutely. And that's evil. And so it is. Cut that out. Let that man go play golf and be alone so he can have that time, and you work on yourself. Yes, exactly. I noticed that now. So I encourage him to, because we see men all the time out there by themselves, and they're actually really good, older men. And, I'm maybe he's not getting as good as he wants to be because I'm always right here with him. Right. You're always in the way, and you're doing it for your own personal thrills. It's not that you care about him. You're just trying to make your own ego feel better. Yes, yes.
Amazing.
So I
I love the fact that you were able to watch that in that moment. And I want to encourage you to continue to do that. You got to just watch. There's nothing else to do but watch the false self.
Yes, sir. And I just wanted to share that with you because that's something that I've never been able to, put my hand on it or pinpoint that's what my anger comes from. So thank you so much. Thank all of you guys for what you do, and have an amazing day.
Amazing. You're welcome, Jessica, and stay with it, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's an amazing story. What the? 888-7753-773. Super chat. Super.
Morning.
Good morning. How you?
Doing fine, thank you. The Adler donated a Cash App, Bond JLP on Cash App. Send
Nice.
a tip.
Thank you.
I thought if you look at God, you'd die. Related to your biblical question, have you ever seen God?
Have you ever seen God?
I think there's a couple of different ways about seeing God. There's one way that you see him and you die.
Well, thank you for responding to that biblical question, and I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Amazing.
Someone bought a coffee. Hello, sir. And he asks, he saw Ben Carson recently, and he asks, am I wrong to call him a beta? I don't want to judge because I like what he stands for, but he seems beta to me, says someone with his coffee.
I don't know. I didn't see him, so I don't know.
Okay.
Amazing. Just don't be angry at him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your tip as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Someone also says, sir, have you seen the video of the white cop shooting the old black lady in her house in the head? It's amazing how they always drop a video around election time for the blacks to run with. When you get a chance, you might check it out. Thanks for all you do.
And that's the one I've been hearing Joel talk about out of Chicago?
I talked about it
Oh,
out
that was you?
of Springfield, Illinois. Yeah, she's not that old. She was 36.
And that's the one that he was referring to?
Mhm.
This guy?
Think so.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it. I only heard Hake report about it, and then I think I heard Joel mention it.
Oh, yeah, because Joel might not have mentioned it, but somebody called Joel about it.
Oh.
Yeah, a lady called Joel.
I don't know what happened because I have not seen it, nor have I heard much information about it at all, except for here on this network. And if it happened, I don't think too much about it because the blacks are going to use this, whatever.
Benjamin Crump is involved.
Oh, God. Oh, well, I rest my case.
Yep.
But they're going to use it. They try to get Kamala Harris in there by any means necessary. So, okay. It's just another whatever. Thank you.
Renee bought 34 coffees, very generous.
Thank you.
Oh, this sounds like an answer to the biblical question.
Have you ever seen God?
I've, quote unquote, seen God, and he changed my heart, and now I'm born again. I asked him to show me how to hate evil. He showed me it's the thoughts. Your teachings are true, and I thank God for you. Life is truly amazing when you walk in the Spirit. Love and peace to all.
Thank you for responding to the biblical question. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Amazing. Thank you.
No more thoughts about a coffee. I was asking yesterday about liking hobbies and identifying with them. I'm identifying with a hobby that if I have intrusive thoughts about it when I'm in silent prayer, am I identifying with that hobby? Most of my thoughts in prayer are about that sport and hobby of mine. I don't feel much about it, but I'm wondering if I should just quit since it's taking me to unconscious places.
And break down the question.
Okay, so this No More Thoughts is into this sport/hobby.
Right.
And he or she is thinking about it, even when praying quietly. Like his or her mind just goes there. I'm just going to say he because it might be he or she.
Right.
His mind just goes there. Should he drop this hobby/sport because it's taking him into unconsciousness?
You know what? I don't know because the question is not like really clear. And if you can call me, I can maybe do some follow-up questions to get a better idea of what you're saying or asking. 888-7753-773. So I'm not quite clear of the question. Thank you, though.
Birdie Bound B bought 3 coffees. DEI, those letters, DEI also spells IED, as well as DIE, die. I'm just saying.
DEI and IED?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And DIE, die.
But
they all use the same letters. One doesn't necessarily spell the other, but you can use
what
the
is
word.
IED?
Improvised explosive device.
Oh, okay.
That's what killed / maimed a lot of Americans, by way especially of Soleimani, whom Trump assassinated.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Over in the Middle East.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Amazing.
He's just saying.
Right.
Lori
just saying.
Lori bought a coffee. Yes, Jesse, I've seen God. I guess that's a biblical question.
Have you ever seen God?
God looked like perfect goodness, and he let me see how evil I was. All in one moment, I was sad, grateful. I repented and changed forever. Now this is my 3rd attempt at answering the question. Ha ha. So I see the devil still playing with my mind trying to explain this miraculous experience.
Amazing. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Zach bought a coffee. Jesse, what's your opinion on men watching XXX adult films?
The same thing as drugs or anything. It's just another form of escape. They don't want to feel empty. They don't want to feel lost, even though that's what they are, lost. So it's just another way of escaping or thinking that you're escaping to hell, but getting deeper into it. That's all it is. Amazing. Thank you.
Nice. The Key bought a coffee. Jesse, could you imagine in all your bone days that this beautiful nation we call America would erect a meat as our next president? Talk about a thrill. It just feels good. Clown emoji.
So what was the question?
I suddenly had to censor it because I realized what she was saying, or he or she, the Key, was saying. Can you imagine in all your born days that you elect somebody like Kamala Harris as the next president?
Beforehand, I could not imagine that, but now that I see that we are a socialist society and how the people are being controlled by the media, their politicians, and their entertainers, I understand it now. The public school, the public education is a mess. So the people have been brainwashed. And most people are not able to stand on their own. So I do understand my country is no longer tears of thee. Thank you. Amazing.
Keep it clean, the Key. Thank you, the Key, as always, for your support.
Yeah.
English bought 10 coffees. Very generous. Thank you, Mr. Jesse, Hake, Anchor Baby, and Joelle, all the way from Staffordshire, England.
Right on. Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. You say hiss?
Kiss. Well,
Kiss.
I put an X at the end, so that
right on.
I assume that means kiss.
Thank you.
Thank
Amazing.
You. English. Apple 2691, 5 coffees. Hi, Jesse and James. Jesse James! Exclamation mark, laughing face. James, excuse my grammar. My English writing is not good. I'm aged and I write the way I talk. Tongues out emoji. Jesse, last week a caller asked if you fast. You said you eat 1 meal a day. Did you know Herschel Walker only eats 1 meal a day since he was in high school because he was busy all day? He's the best at what he does in his career, in my opinion. Cut up another watermelon and thinking of you, Jesse.
Amazing.
Yum emoji.
Thank you. I didn't know that. Herschel Walker is that chocolate candy, right?
No, that's Hershey's chocolate. Herschel Walker is a black guy. Herschel Walker, who ran for office.
Oh, not the chocolate candy? The candy company?
No, you're thinking Hershey's chocolate.
Oh.
Herschel Walker was number 34. He was a running back, whatever that is, in the NFL. He played for 12 seasons. He was the Republican nominee for the United States Senate in 2022 in Georgia. And he almost won, Herschel Walker, but he lost.
Amazing. I didn't know that. But thank you. And enjoy the watermelon. Amazing. Thank you.
Jacob bought 3 coffees. Whole lot of messy Jewish people at the, messy Jews at the Capitol this week. I don't think they were Messianic Jews. But anyway.
At the Capitol?
Yeah, at the Capitol.
Yeah, with Allah people.
Yeah, they were supporting Palestine.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, what the?
In response to the biblical question, Jacob.
Have you ever seen God?
Nobody has seen God, especially not with their real eyes or with their eyes. I never got to respond to last week's question, but I had a little something to offer about having faith and having hope.
So they have never seen God?
Never seen God, not
They
with his
said
eyes.
in the response they have never seen him.
Oh. Well, he's including himself when he says nobody. So he's saying no, he has not seen God.
So he said no, he has not seen God.
Right.
Okay.
He wanted to talk about the thing about having faith and having hope from last week on Sunday and last week's biblical question.
Okay.
My future's so bright I can't even see it. Have a good Friday. Excited to hear your answer this Sunday.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And I will put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Amazing.
Thank you, Jacob. C on C with a coffee. Jesse, darling, laughing face with tears coming out. America is going to be United States of Mexico real soon, or some other Latin country. There are whites also, but the blacks are aborting their babies and are deteriorating. Even though the whites are not having enough babies and raising dogs, there's still a good majority of them. El Chapo mixing with everyone to SMH.
How is it that, thank you, Sion, that's amazing. Why is it that white women love killing a man, abortion? They love killing a man's children in their womb. Why is that? I noticed that it's really, and the blacks are starting to get into it too because it was set up for the blacks by Marcus Singer. But I noticed white women love abortions. And that's why they support, whenever they hear somebody for abortion, you can rely on the white women showing up. Why is that?
Well, there's a lot of white women who become not normal in their whiteness. They're not normal whites anymore. Even the normal white ones are not normal. I think it's anger, hatred. I think it's fear. A lot of them have fear about their bodies changing or their bodies becoming affected in some negative way. And selfishness.
I noticed, too, that a lot of white women are childless women.
Yeah.
They don't have children. Mm-hmm. And you can tell something missing in their life. They have no children. They don't really have happiness.
Yeah.
What the?
Well, most people are miserable nowadays.
Amazing.
And the culture is set it up that way. You know, the culture has set up women to be all into education, career.
But you can't blame the culture. The women are responsible for their life.
I know, but when you have everybody doing it, you're going to be influenced by everybody. There's no positive influence around either. In the good old days, you don't seem to be paying attention to me. I'm not going to talk.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
In the good old days.
I was looking at this board. I don't know who you're talking to for so long.
Oh, yeah. That's distracting, huh?
Yeah. And it won't stop for some reason.
Right. I don't know if anybody's out there listening to us to
Nick,
let them know.
can you go out there and talk to them or something?
Yeah. Thanks.
It's distracting. Okay.
Yeah, so in the old days, people were easily influenced too, but they were less easily influenced because they knew you were not supposed to be easily influenced. And they also, and in general, those people also weren't so openly selfish. Nowadays, people are openly selfish. Yeah. Women are. They're encouraged.
Man, I saw this rally the other day with the empty shell, Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
And it was mostly fat white women. It was like women. They looked like they all had abortion.
Right.
I don't know if they had, but it looked like it. And because this woman was pushing abortion, and the white women show up for abortion.
Yeah.
Why don't the white men stop them?
Aborsh. The men have been, they've turned into like the whites. I'm not white, so I can't talk about it. And the men are like, I'm not a woman, so I can't talk about it.
What?
Okay. Or they don't care, and it's a mess.
Well, I noticed it's very popular with white women. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and thank you guys. Let me just double check on the Super Chats over on Rumble. I do believe that this is all for now. Thank you guys for the lemons. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you all very, very. Mamma mia. Hola, sí, señor. Gracias very, very much. July just feels white. Amazing. Let me go to, is it Kate? K-A-T? Kat. Our first time call out of Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Kat, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you. Well, total subject change here, 180. So I apparently have been involved with a man who's a narcissist. Didn't realize, didn't want to think it, began seeing the tendencies. Listen to your, you had a short that I listened to the other day, which really gave me some clarity, stating that it's actually a spirit of narcissism, and the person doesn't seem to want it out, so there's nothing you can do. I guess my confusion lies where there were, well, no, I'm not even going to get into the relationship. I'm just saying I'm kind of a fixer person, and so I don't even know how to approach him. He left me. I know the thing is for them to just start over, leave and start over, no actual breakup. And that sounds pretty much what happened here a few days ago. I'm moving on. I'm moving on, but still feel some compassion toward this person, and just wonder if there's anything beyond the comment that it's a spirit. Maybe they don't want it out. If there's anything beyond that I can do to help the situation.
Is this your boyfriend or your husband?
Yeah, a boyfriend of a year and 8 months.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the week before he was talking about getting us a place together. He said, "I'm sorry, honey, I don't have the money to get us our own place." And, we were talking that way long term, and we're the love of each other's lives and all of those things. But, he says the right thing, but then I would try to tell him that it's confusing when sometimes his behavior doesn't coincide with his wonderful words.
And you were willing
So
to...
it's a spirit, I guess.
You were willing to live with him without being married to him?
Kind of a sticking point. When the subject of moving in together would come up, I would have to have a discussion with him, but he's not too much into... He talks about a lot of wonderful things and is super smart and shares an awful lot with me, but when it comes to sitting him down and asking some questions, I guess in true narcissist form, that doesn't happen.
And so you were willing to live with him without being married to him?
Oh, yes, that was your question. I'm sorry. Possibly.
You were?
Possibly. I mean, it's not really in my belief system, and we'd have to have a discussion about that and let him know that it's not my belief system.
And so were you going to say yes or no to living without being married?
Wow. I very well might have said yes.
And why were you willing? What's wrong with you that you were willing to live with him without being married? What's wrong with you?
Just thinking that things could get better. Well, I know that's stupid, wishful thinking, but just because this man, before I realized about narcissism, he really is the love of my life. And
how's he the love of your life and you're willing to do the wrong thing?
Ah. Wow. Yeah, that's a really good point.
No, that was a question.
I know. I did.
Hold on, Kat.
It makes me think.
Hold on 1 minute, okay? Hold on. Let me take a quick break. Don't hang up, Kat. Back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him, I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Happy White History Month. July just feels white. We're celebrating our 7th year of White History Month. We got to remember real history, not the made-up DEI history. It's just made up. July will always be White History Month. Check out our merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. Amazing merch. Mugs, t-shirt, tote bags, hats, all kind of good old stuff. Big Mama Michelle mugs. All kind of amazing stuff at rebuildingtheman.com/store. And we have a counseling service. If you need counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. Individual and family counseling. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. All right? And make a donation at Bond. We need your support. I shouldn't have to ask, but since I do remind you, you've been help us to help others. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/donate. It's tax deductible. rebuildingtheman.com/donate, or call 800-411-BOND. 800-411-BOND. Let me go quickly back to Kat, a first-time caller out of Wisconsin. So, Kat, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, this is a fine question. I'm kind of a leave no stone unturned person, and I want to make sure that I've done everything I'm capable and responsible to do. In this case, this person has made some unilateral decisions.
How do you feel that now that he has dumped you? How do you feel?
I mean, it's hurtful. I'm functioning.
And what hurtful about it?
Just the deep commitment that we had numerous occasions both pledged. You know, we've both made our pledges and commitments. We feel like we've known each other in the spirit before, and that we're.
What were your pledges to him?
I pledged my life to him, my commitments, my love, my partnership, my faithfulness. And he pledged all of that to me first.
And so where are you getting your love from that you're giving him?
My spirit, my being, who I am.
And who are you?
I am a loving, peaceful, responsible human being.
And what's loving about you?
A willingness to love the right person, to let who I think is the right person in, if we're talking about an emotional relationship.
And so what's loving about you?
What's loving about me? I'm supportive. I'm caring. I'm trusting.
But all those things you're doing those things because you want something back. You're not doing those things out of love. You're doing those things out of a hidden agenda. You want something back.
Okay.
Is that true?
In a committed relationship, yes.
And so why do you call that love when you're doing it because you want something back, not because you love them?
Well, that's why I'm still being somewhat open to what is going on, because I see possibilities, but I am giving, I am loving, and yes, I would.
If you didn't
in
want
my mate, I would want all that back.
Right. If you didn't want anything back, would you still be a loving person?
Yes.
And then, so why do you want something back then?
Well, I can still love the person from a distance and not be involved anymore.
And so, Kat, who are you? Tell me who Kat is.
Crickets, hey. Like I say, I love animals. I respect life, all life forms. Maybe a little less when it comes to snakes, but I respect life forms. I try to help them. I help others, and what little there has been a specific male in my life, I've had two close relationships. One was a marriage before, and wound up divorced after 15 years.
So far you told me about your emotions and what you do, but you have not told me who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I can talk about my emotions and what I do, but I don't know how to be more specific about that.
You're not even telling me who you are?
Oh, well, I'm a female who grew up in the Midwest. I have 4 adult children who are wonderful. I have 12 adorable, wonderful grandchildren.
You're still not telling me who you are. You're telling me what you have, where you live, what you've done. But you're still not telling me who Kat is. You're telling me about your emotions. You're telling me about where you live and what you're doing. You hate the snakes. But you still haven't told me who you are.
I'm a spiritual being.
What does that mean?
Physical body right now.
What does that mean that you're a spiritual being?
It means that I believe we are all made of spirit at our core. We're on this earth right now, temporarily.
What is a spiritual being? I don't know what that means.
Your spirit, your soul, your gut, your innermost you. You take away
How do you
this
know
body,
that? How
and
do you
you
know
still
that?
have.
How do you know that?
Because of my faith, because God is spirit, because we are created from God, by God.
And so
God
is that
has
something
made
you
certain
know
promises.
for sure, or you read about or heard about?
No, I know this.
And how do you know that
I know
for
this,
sure?
and I've heard. Well, I have heard and been taught about it, but I believe it, and I've had experiences with God, and that's just the core of who I am.
Who is God?
The creator of all life.
How do you know that?
I read it in the Bible. I see it around me every day.
Okay, Kat, I want you to take a week, a few days, and discover who you are and let me know. Call me back and let me know who you are. Let me ask you.
Okay.
And this is what I'll ask you too. Why do you play God?
Why do I play God?
Yes. You pretend to be God. Why do you play God?
Oh my God! I don't think I pretend to be God.
I
don't think I'm that at all.
So why do you play God
then?
then? Why do you play God?
Wow. That's not in my vocabulary or in my thought to.
You said you want to. You said
God.
You want to help people. You're trying to help the narcissistic man that just left you. You're a helpful person. A helpful person is a person that's trying to play God. Why do you play God?
Oh.
Why do you play God?
Well, like I said, I like to fix things. If I see a solution or
but you
think
can't
there could
fix
be a
it.
solution,
You cannot
but it's
fix
not
anything.
always. I know it's not up to me. There's always another person or persons involved, and it's not up.
But you
things
can't,
are not up to me.
You can't fix anything. You can't even fix yourself. Why play God?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that was a question.
Well, I don't think I'm playing God.
What do you think you're doing when you're trying to fix yourself and others? If you're not playing God, what are you doing?
Well, others, not the whole entire world. Just if there's someone I know who I love, and I think maybe they need help, if they want help, and it's something I can do, something in my realm that I can do for someone.
You can't fix yourself or anyone else, so why do you play God?
Wow. I just don't see it that way. I don't have an answer for you.
And why don't you want to see the reality that you're playing God?
Well, I will think about that.
No, I'm asking you, why don't you want to see that?
Well,
why do you call it something other than what it is?
Because I prayed a prayer about a year and 9 months ago, and in my living room, and I walked off and I literally forgot about it. And a couple of weeks later, this man came to my door. It was an appointment. It was something I ordered, whatever. And we wound up about a month later going out for coffee a couple times and began spending more time and began realizing, maybe our spirits had a bond from a past, from history, because we're on this plane such a short time. And so we just began bonding and spending time and getting to know each other.
Is this the same guy you say is a narcissistic person?
Yeah.
Oh, so Satan sent you, you prayed to Satan and he sent you a man?
No, I don't pray to Satan.
But then you got this man that he sent you was from the devil, right?
No.
But you said he was a narcissist and he left you. You think he was from God?
That's the confusing part.
Would God send you
he showed up.
Would God send you a narcissistic man?
Oh. Didn't think of that. I don't know.
You think God might send you a narcissistic man?
I wasn't looking for that.
You say you prayed for it.
For that. I prayed for some specific things, and there were some signs that I didn't even recognize at first, but as weeks went by, it's like, oh my God, that's something I prayed about.
Kat.
And I kept it to myself.
Kat, do you think you prayed to God and God possibly sent you a narcissistic man?
Could have, because this world is not perfect.
So God give you
I
bad.
am not perfect.
You believe that God give you bad gifts?
No.
But then you said possibly God sent them to you.
Yeah.
But you said God doesn't give you a bad gift. Is a narcissistic man a bad gift or a good gift?
Well, there was so much good. There was so much good.
There was nothing good in that. Zero.
Oh.
It was all an illusion in your mind about him and in your mind about you. It was an illusion. Why don't you stop limiting your imagination and live in reality?
Mm-hmm. Okay. That
No,
makes sense.
that was a question.
Yeah. Just because I see other things, I tend to see both sides of the fence. I see the good, I see the bad.
You see all bad, you see no good. And you're calling good bad. Anytime somebody sees both sides of the fence, they're seeing all evil and calling it good.
Wow.
Why don't you drop your anger so you can see?
My anger at what?
Period.
Drop my anger so I can see. Well, I'll absolutely work on that because I didn't know I was doing that.
You didn't know you had anger?
I mean, some things can get me angry.
So you didn't
I
know
don't
you
walk
had
around as an angry person.
You didn't know you had anger?
No, I didn't think I was hanging on to anger.
But did you know you had anger? You have anger.
Yeah, like they say, some things I can get angry at.
But at the reason you get anger at because the anger is inside of you.
Oh.
Why do you think your kids can't stand you?
Why do you say that?
Why do you think they can't stand you?
Why do you say that?
No, answer the question first, then I'll tell you why I said it.
Because holding on to hope when they were younger, I argued with their dad in front of them. At first, I never did. But then I thought, well, maybe they need to know there's two sides, and that was just so stupid of me. But I think it hurt my kids a lot.
Have you apologized to your children for turning them away from their father?
I apologize to them for my behavior.
Why have you
and for hurting them?
Why have you apologized to them for turning them away from their father and playing victim?
Well, I think they have made their choices and
they didn't make that choice. You made the choice when you turned them away from their father with your evil spirit.
Well, they're like 40 now, and
well, you better hurry up and apologize.
The ones that have a relationship with him, they know what he's about. I mean, he too turns out was a narcissist and only wanted his family around him on his birthday and Christmas so he could get gifts. And they saw that.
Kat.
Yes.
You know who the true narcissist is?
What? You're going to say me?
Look in the mirror.
Wow.
You're looking at these other people calling them a narcissist when it's really you. You screwed up your children by turning them against their fathers, playing victim. You ran off your first husband. Now you ran off this man that you just met. And you're calling them the narcissist when it's really you because you don't want to face you. You don't want to overcome your hell.
Wow.
How will you ever be free if you don't see that you're in hell?
Right.
Your misery is your hell.
Well, that makes sense now that I hear it.
Your mother still living?
No.
Forgive your mother. She recreated you in her image in the same way you did your children. Your mother was from hell, and she passed her hell on to you, and you passed that hell on to the children.
Wait.
And now they're going to pass it on to their children.
What do you mean my mother was from hell?
How do you think you created you? How do you think you became like you are? It came from your mother. Your anger, her.
Well, I came from two parents.
I know, but your mother
came from two parents.
But it's your mother that turned you away from your father. She played victim.
My dad and I were very close.
And she didn't like that. The worst thing for a child is to be close to their father. Their mother will destroy that child. Any child that look like their father, boy or girl, or close to their father, the mother will destroy you. Because she hates your father, so she hates any image of your father. And she's jealous.
Oh. I understand the parallels you're drawing or what you're saying, but you'd have to know my parents and they had a loving relationship. They loved us kids.
No, they didn't. You would have ended up screwed up if they didn't love you. Look how screwed up you are. You're narcissistic. But, Kat, I got to run.
Okay.
Will you call me again?
Sure, yes.
Will you smoke on these things?
Smoke on them?
Meaning,
well, there's a good... Tell me what you mean.
Think about it. The part, see how much applies to you so you can overcome it.
Yes. All right. I appreciate this. Thank you for your questioning me and making me think about things that never occurred to me. And because I do want answers. I do want help. I do want to be... One of my prayers is, for me to see clearly. And so you're right now helping me to do that.
And you take your eyes off everybody else and just look at you, and you see what's going on inside of you. You're going to understand the world outside of you, inside of others. And go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Mm-hmm. I want you to do the silent prayer so God can bring you out of the darkness of your imagination.
All right.
rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Let me know how it goes.
Thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome, Kat.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. 888-775-3773. Let me go to Bulgaria. Talk to Denny. Denny.
Good day, Mr. Peterson. I hope you're doing well, sir.
All is well, Denny.
Glad to hear. Mr. Peterson, first of all, happy White History Month, sir.
Happy White History. Do I hear the music? Oh, okay. Hold on, Denny. Can you hold?
Okay.
Let me take a quick break. When I come back, straight to the phones. Back in a moment. Hake is coming in with the hate news. Not the fake news, but the Hake news. And I'll be right back. Another hour to go. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 of the JLP Peterson Show. Hang tight, callers. JLP will be right back to your calls. Denny in Bulgaria and the rest of the callers. Lines are full, guys. JLP will be right back. But first, Hake news, not fake news. It is Friday, July 26th. Happy White History Month. AD 2024. Express Yourself Friday. The Olympics, the 2024 Summer Olympic Games, gets underway today in Paris. It's probably already started, right? Probably, definitely, almost certainly. With an extraordinary opening ceremony aimed at putting one of the world's most famous cities on display, and dirty cities too nowadays. Everybody's been knowing that for like 30 years almost. For the first time in Summer Games history, the ceremony will be held outside of a stadium. Instead, athletes will parade down the city's famous River Seine. It's not River Seine. I was pronouncing it wrong. River Seine, S-E-I-N-E. On boats. The festival on the water will begin, 7:30 p.m. local time. What's time in Paris? Which is 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is, I don't know math. 11:30 Pacific, after the Hake report, I guess. Anyway. By the way, the Hake report is coming up after the JLP Peterson Show, and then the Fallen State with that winner of the Democrat presidential primary in American Samoa. Make sure you catch JLP talking with that guy. It should be pretty good. The guy's name is Jason Palmer. Fun interview on the Fallen State coming up. And then American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. No Joel Friday on Friday. You do the math. I can't do the math. Anyway, the Olympics are going to air on NBC and this is going to stream on Peacock. Who cares? France's high-speed train lines were targeted by malicious acts earlier today. Did you know that? In what has been described as coordinated sabotage to disrupt travel. Olympic organizers told Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, that the ceremony will go ahead as planned with heightened security measures. What a mess. And meanwhile, in America, 2 alleged leaders, or at least North America, 2 alleged leaders of the Sinaloa Mexican drug cartel were arrested yesterday, Thursday, including the son of the notorious drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, not Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Guzman Lopez, age 38, and the alleged co-founder of the Sinaloa cartel, Ismael El Mayo Zambada, age 76. They were caught in a sting operation in El Paso, Texas. So said Attorney General Merrick Garland, not a Christian. Both Zambada and Guzman Lopez face several charges for allegedly leading the cartel's criminal operations, including the trafficking of tens of thousands of pounds of cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and even fentanyl in the United States, along with related violence. So said FBI Director Christopher Wray. By the way, Christopher Wray said that Trump may not actually have been shot in the ear. It may not have been a bullet that damaged his ear. It may have been shrapnel, quote unquote. That's what the local cops had speculated, that it was, wood from the podium or something. Don't know. Not really a big deal either way, because either way it was close. OpenAI, the influential company behind ChatGPT, is taking on Google with a new artificial intelligence search engine. The company announced they're testing SearchGPT, which will combine their AI technology with real-time information from the web to allow people to search for information the same way they talk to ChatGPT. With the new feature, OpenAI will be directly competing with Google, which has for years dominated the online search market. Separately, Representative Jennifer Wexton made history on Thursday as the first lawmaker to use an artificial intelligence-generated model of her voice to speak for her on the House floor. Jennifer Wexton, is battling progressive supranuclear palsy, PSP. It's affected her voice and range of movement. So she called it music to my ears. Whoa. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP. Hour 3.
It's why his
History Month. I'm gonna celebrate with my friends. It's White History Month. So be sure to tell everyone. There will always be different months to celebrate. This month's gonna be White History.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm sorry I'm late. It's my fault. But I can blame Joel, he black, because Joel made some homemade soup yesterday. It was so good. He brought some more back today. And so he was telling me that I can have it all. And then it sounded like he wanted some of that. And I'm like, you can't have any of that because you said I can have it. And then and so we were arguing over that. And then he was telling the other guy, y'all can have some of the soup. And I'm like, no, you can't offer them my soup. And so we were arguing over that. Did you have some of his soup, James? Nope. Oh, you didn't have it yesterday?
No, I didn't have any.
Did you have some, Nick?
Yeah, I did.
How was it?
Great. Are you sure I can't have some?
Well, it don't depend on how much in there. I don't know how much is left.
You got to first check the amount first,
right,
before you can ration. I understand that.
But I may share if there's a lot in there. But that's what was going on. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. Oh, God. You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad if you're busy. Now, Derek, somebody said he wants some of my soup. What the? And I can tell Amid wants some because he was grinning. What? You can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by going to the listen line, calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad, whatever I'm saying, at 605-615-4131, 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or Bond. I have a question for you there. Bond JLP Cash App. Come back. Bond JLP Cash App. All right. So it's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest today. It is whatever's on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a great alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
We are all in this together, and your vote is your power.
Can I get an amen?
And remember, you better vote.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
You should send it to the Trump.
It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more.
She just flew in from the cuckoo's nest.
Equitable distribution.
And boy, is she crazy.
The border is secure.
Meantime, in Beverly Hills, 5 people are behind bars after an armed robbery.
We have a secure border.
You ain't getting this. I don't cook and girls rule, bitch.
What a mess. I'm asking, and I'm going to get to your phone call here in a minute. I'm asking Hake to stay here because this story is so remarkable. I don't even know what to say about it. I think I do know what to say, but I can't believe it. But I can't believe it because my country is a socialist society now, and the inmates are running the insane asylum. But, Nick, I want to go down to soundbite 3-1 ABC. This is a black kid stomped Asian kid in the head. And I believe they were playing basketball or something. And this black guy stomped on the court there, according to the reports, stomped this kid in the head. This is from ABC 7. A 13-year-old basketball player stomped an opponent's head during a Bay Area game. I want you to watch this clip from ABC 7.
Parents are outraged after a youth basketball player stomped another boy in the head. Happened in Alameda on Sunday during a game, and it was all caught on video. ABC 7 News reporter J.R. Stone has talked with families on both sides.
I do think it's important to warn viewers that the video is a bit intense. This basketball game was about to end when all of this went down.
There is a police investigation over what you're about to see here, as one 13-year-old player stomps on an opposing player's head.
He was down on the floor, and this kid just came and just stomped on him, and it's on his head.
Eva and Roderick Ginab say their son was playing on the Tumakbo United team, which is a Filipino-American youth team based in the Bay Area. Game took place Sunday at the College of Alameda versus Peyton's Place, another Bay Area team. There was a scuffle to get possession of the ball, then another player reacts.
You could clearly see the size of his shoe on his face. My son suffered concussion for the first time he played basketball.
Why do the fathers always sit there looking stupid and let the mother talk? Tell the mother to be quiet, you talk. What the? I always see that now. The father sitting there looking like a dummy and the mama running off at the mouth. But anyway, the attacker family said, listen to this. The attacker's family, I mean the boy, the black mama folks, said he was defending his team. When stomping somebody in the head on a basketball court became defending his teammate. Watch this.
The Ginabs say their son is now in concussion protocol and still dealing with headaches. The family of the other boy who did the stomping says that he was standing up for his teammate, who he believed had just been kicked and punched in this melee. Family members tell me the player for Peyton's Place is now being cyberbullied by adults online. They also say he immediately left the gym after this because he was told to leave by an organizer. The Peyton's Place team says the boy is, quote, seeking help to control his emotions, and he is not playing with the program at this time, end quote. They also say they are saddened by what happened, adding, the behavior that was exhibited by our player is not acceptable and is being taken seriously. Police say this is an ongoing investigation after the Ginabs filed a report.
I think everyone was in shock. I think, we all kind of went on the court, went up to the coach of the other team to say, hey, what just happened? What's going on?
If we don't say anything right now, this kid will think it's okay to do it because he's young. He thinks that walking away from this situation, just like he did, is just okay.
Amazing. And last but not least, both sides say race was not a factor. Watch this.
There are also questions about possible attacks that happened after the stomp involving parents and officials, but nothing could be seen on video, and police haven't detailed those to us.
Coaches tell me these players have played against each other several times over the years, both sides saying that race was not a factor here in anything that happened. Once Alameda police wrap this investigation, it will be up to the Alameda County District Attorney to decide if any action should be taken.
That is an amazing story to me. What do you think of that, Hake? This is Hake from the Hake Report coming up at 9 a.m. this morning, Pacific time, from 9 to 11. Also one of the experts here on Jesse Lee Peterson's show. What do you think about this?
I think it's interesting that they say that race wasn't a factor, but you mostly only ever see blacks doing that type of head stomping and like kicking people when they're down, and totally unprovoked. And it's like a kiss-up thing that they want to just rush and claim that when they don't actually know.
Yeah.
They don't know how, because you see black on Asian crime all the time. And I remember when I first showed you this, I showed you an uncensored version. We saw the censored version.
Right.
And you're like, that's that anger.
Yeah.
That's in these black kids' homes up in the Bay Area.
Amazing. What do you think of an anchor baby? This is an anchor baby of the host of the American Anchor Baby show at 12 noon some days, and then some days 4 p.m. We never know.
You gotta follow and subscribe.
Right. 4
Ring
p.m.
the bell.
Ring that bell.
Check the community posts.
For real.
4 p.m. Pacific time, and on Thursday, Friday, sometimes Saturday, and sometimes the rest of the week too.
Thank you.
And an expert here on the show. What do you think about that?
It's amazing. It's amazing to see how far people can degenerate in that how far one person can let themselves go, and then how much farther their family and their children will go to become animal-like, like truly animal-like.
Yeah.
And anger, all that degenerates you to that level. It's amazing to see it, and it's amazing to see everybody just kind of go like, oh, we don't see anything. No love to those black children. No love to those black families. And then to see that how the black families react, this is how they react. They'll tell their own children, no, you were just they circle the wagons and defend their own ego and evil to a level I've never seen. How are things going to get better like that? It's crazy.
Yeah, they say, oh, the kid is being cyberbullied by adults on the internet.
Which kid being cyberbullied?
The one who did the head stomp.
The black
The
one?
one who stomped, yeah, the black kid.
I guarantee you had that Asian kid did that to the black, they would be saying this is not about racism.
Yeah.
They'll be crying racism all the way to the courthouse. But what I don't understand to both of you and the anchor baby, for the last 60 to 70 years, they've been encouraging the blacks to be angry and out of control. They have kept the black fathers away from the kids, so the black mother and the grandmothers have passed their anger on to the children. They've allowed the blacks to leave the prisons and the jails, and so now the blacks are walking up and down the street, some, not all, but some, attacking white people, Asians, and others on the streets, knocking them out and all that. And then even in these public schools, the blacks are attacking the other kids and everything going on there. Why do the people of non-black culture, non-black culture, allow their kids to interact with these black kids knowing how dangerous it is? Why is that?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think that oftentimes they do try to get away eventually. Sometimes among my friends, I grew up with Asians and Hispanics, and some of them lived their early life in L.A. and had to deal with blacks.
Right.
And then they moved out to the suburbs. They saved up enough money to move out to the suburbs not to have to deal with blacks. But these guys are up in the Oakland area, Bay Area, and so they kind of have to because
it's the
they're
darndest
poorer.
thing I ever seen.
Yeah.
I often wonder, why do white people send their children, now Asians and others, send their children to these schools where predominantly blacks? Why do they live in those areas where predominantly black, knowing that they're going to eventually be attacked?
Yeah.
It's why.
It's an interesting question. You know why? Because in the world I grew up in, the way it was kind of presented to me is that this is a new way of living. We got to come together. We're eradicating racism. Let's unify, blah, blah, blah. But turns out that all this has been tried. It's been tried for decades,
Yeah.
in different generations, and this mentality, and it hasn't worked. And the older generations didn't tell me. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't tell me that this was already tried. I had to figure that out. That doesn't work. Only the last few years, I guess.
Amazing. I can't blame the blacks, even though they're the blacks are the one that all of this anger, they're attacking everyone. That boy literally, according to the report, literally stabbed that young kid on the neck. At a basketball game. It wasn't a thug fight. It wasn't like a street fight. But that anger is the anger of his mother. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
It's the anger of his mother. But I just don't know why non-black people sacrifice their children to the blacks. I can understand they're afraid not to go around because they don't want to be called racist. But why do they sacrifice their children? The kids don't even have a chance.
Yeah, they're just trying to play basketball. They've played with this black team apparently, or whatever.
Yeah.
Multiracial team, maybe.
But I wouldn't even let my kids play basketball with them.
I know. And it's an all
Go
Filipino.
be a doctor.
It was an all Filipino team versus this team with these two black kids that got in this scuffle with this kid.
And the father sitting up there looking, if that's the father.
The Filipino father?
Yeah, if that's the father. He up there weak.
Yeah.
And then the mama do all the talking.
You see that all the time.
That's weak.
Yep.
No wonder the kids are getting beat up.
You see that with the trans kids. You see that with conservative and liberal parents.
That's amazing.
Men and women.
Let me do this. One more thing here. This is White History Month. And we have to do a little tribute to White History Month. I want to, this day we're talking about Howard Hughes.
Yes.
Right? And Howard was an innovative white man. And this is from the Daily Dose documentary.com. Howard Hughes was a titan of industry, an aviator, and a reclusive figure. Being so smart, he was still reclusive. Born into wealth, Hughes branched out from his family's oil tube business as a filmmaker. He produced movies that pushed cinema creativity. Hughes broke aviation records, designed and piloted aircraft that pushed technology. And last but not least, but he was a troubled soul. Smart, but yet a troubled soul. Isn't that amazing? And I know why. I believe why. In later years, he grew isolated and eccentric in behavior. Howard Hughes remained an icon of American ambition and the complexities of the human spirit. This is a Daily Dose documentary, and here where they talk about early life and iconic film producer. Watch this.
Born in 1905 Houston, Texas, Howard Hughes inherited his father's wildly successful oil drilling tool business at age 18, using his vast wealth to propel him into one of the richest men in the world. Taking advantage of the still infant movie industry in Southern California, Hughes produced a string of successful films throughout the golden years of Hollywood, including his 1930 World War I classic Hell's Angels, which featured expensive aerial combat scenes and a then unknown actress named Jean Harlow. Developing a reputation as a Hollywood playboy, Hughes dated the likes of Katharine Hepburn, Ava Gardner, and Ginger Rogers, at the same time producing a solid body of cinematic achievement, including his 1932 Scarface and his 1941 film The Outlaw.
Amazing. Amazing. I remember Ava Gardner. Remember her?
No. No, of course not. I can barely remember actresses today.
She was an amazing actress.
Nice.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Did you know Howard Hughes dated her and made movies?
I didn't. I was surprised to hear that. But knowing all that money he had, I'm not surprised.
It's Hassan's favorite person.
Who?
Howard Hughes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I can see why. He was also an aviation. Oh, hold on. Let me pull it down a little bit. Here's a clip about aviation innovation. Watch this.
In tandem with his achievements in film, Hughes developed an intense passion for flying, leading to the creation of the Hughes Aircraft Company in 1932, where he spent the next 2 decades creating cutting-edge innovations in aviation, including the first retractable landing gear, as well as setting numerous world airspeed records throughout the mid to late 1930s. During World War II, German U-boats wreaked havoc on Allied convoys as they ferried men and war material into the battlegrounds of Europe. As a result of these heavy losses, the U.S. government signed a contract with Hughes Aircraft Company to build a massive floatplane that could carry 750 troops or 2 30-ton M4 Sherman tanks across the Atlantic. Completed after the U-boat threat had been neutralized, Hughes flew the giant behemoth in late 1947 before spending a small fortune preserving the plane until his death in 1976.
Amazing. Now do you see why the blacks are jealous of the whites? Look, they call them white supremacists. See why? They want to erase that white history. Were you familiar with Howard Hughes?
Only a little bit.
Really?
Only a little bit.
And why is that?
Because of my grandpa, that I knew about him at all, basically. I feel like I knew him because of my grandpa and maybe a little bit from school.
Oh.
Because I don't know if he was involved in making the spruce goose. Spruce goose. You ever heard of the spruce goose that used to be in Ports of Call?
Oh, yeah.
The Hughes H-4 Hercules. And it was piloted by Howard Hughes. Wow. Yeah, so I had been to the Spruce Goose over in San Pedro, Long Beach.
Right down the road.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still
as long
there.
as the traffic is not bad.
Right.
Right down the road could be a road trip.
Indeed. Right down the 110.
It can easily become a road trip if the traffic is bad.
It was moved up to Oregon, the Spruce Goose.
Nice.
And the Queen Mary was down there. But anyway, so that's probably why I knew a little bit about Howard Hughes.
Are you familiar with him, Nick?
No, that's why we need White History Month.
White History Month. July will always be White History Month. Here is where he struggles with mental health and his legacy film. Watch this.
Following a horrific plane crash in 1946 that nearly ended his life, his last of 14 serious head traumas, Hughes retreated from the public eye until his death, descending into alcohol and drug abuse to deaden the pain left over from so many injuries. Hughes lived in the penthouse suite of the Desert Inn in Las Vegas, amidst growing rumors that he suffered from both drug addiction and an obsessive-compulsive disorder that made him paranoid of catching germs from other people. After his death back in Houston, no less than 600 people came forward to claim his vast fortune, while his reclusive legend returned to the spotlight in the feature film The Aviator, where Leonardo DiCaprio's portrayal of the troubled billionaire earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor in a leading role, making the life and achievements of Howard Hughes a mysterious legend in American history.
Amazing. Amazing. And you say?
What a mess. It's kind of a sad shame that somebody so talented and driven achieved all that, and he was miserable, and he died a little early. He died at, what, 71 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He was 6'3".
He was, really?
Yeah.
He was tall.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that. I mean, speaking of having all that fame and fortune, and seeing still died according to the story of misery, that's why God said we all must be born again, because of the Spirit of the Father. 70 years old, yeah. Of the Spirit of the Father, because nothing or nobody can save you. You're not going to get better until you're born again of the Father. All who are born of the flesh of the mothers must be born of the spirit of the father. And Howard sounded like he needed that.
Yeah.
And Nick, you say?
Amazing.
Amazing. And this is from Nicholas Crown. And one last thing on this, fun facts, all right? These are fun facts. Hughes invented first class for commercial aviation. Amazing. Watch this.
First class is worse than coach class was when commercial aviation began. There was no such thing as first class until roughly 1953 or 54 when Howard Robart Hughes invented it. He had purchased an airline called TWA. He had a vision for commercial aviation and did all sorts of things, expanded routes, expanded the planes. He ordered coast to coast airliners. He had, black people on the crews. He was an innovator, but people don't credit him for the primary innovation, which was inventing first class.
Which was bringing in status hierarchy to 30,000 feet.
You say.
I love Howard Hughes.
Why history month?
That clip confuses me, though, because it sounded like Coach at the very beginning was Coach more comfortable or less comfortable than first class today. Maybe
it sounded like it wasn't comfortable. It looked like the whole plane was uncomfortable.
You might be right. But people who dressed up and the richest people were the ones flying.
But those days messed up wasn't the same as these days messed up.
True.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I'm being told Coach Den was better. Omi's telling me Coach Den was better than first class today.
It was a luxury experience.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That makes sense.
So he made a way for the plebs, the lame people, the weak, the poor people, to be able to fly.
Yeah.
Not poor, but
not a whole lot of money like the white man with the oil field.
He made it possible for Jason Lee Peterson to fly to California.
There you go. At $50.
Not too bad.
Did you know I paid $50 to come out here?
That's quite a bit, though.
How did that bit?
In the 60s?
In 1968.
$50 was worth something back then.
I thought it was so cheap because it was just a little bit portion of my one paycheck I made.
Okay.
Just so I can come.
Nice.
And it was a one-way ticket.
Right.
So had it been a two-way ticket, it would have been a little less.
Yeah, true. Oh.
Derek said he paid
better deal.
$500 to come out here.
One way?
Did you pay that one way, Derek? Me. One way. What the?
Man.
Now, what do you say about $50?
Well, it depends on the timing, what day you come out,
ain't that
what time
much time
you come
in the
out.
world where
Because-
I pay $500.
No, I know, but you can get wide range of prices depending on how far out you schedule it today nowadays.
Right.
So.
And speaking of first class, and then I'm going to the calls. I used to work for American Airlines.
Wow.
I would work my day job in the morning. In my early 20s, I worked my day job from 6 to 3 at the hospital. And then I would go into my night job at American Airlines and work from late in the evening to early in the morning. And then I would go home and get a little nap and then come back and go start all over again. But what I loved about American Airlines job, I didn't have to do much. All I had to do was, when the planes come in, this cleaning crew, we belong to a cleaning crew, and we would go on the plane, and each one of us has to do little things to clean up the plane. And my job was to put the magazines back into the little pockets on the back seat.
Nice.
That's all I had to do. And then other people had little jobs to do, but the whole team made up for the whole job.
Is that before minimum wage?
Yes.
Before they had minimum wage?
I guess so. And so we had a whole crew because we had to get in and out really fast, so the plane could be ready to take off in the next 30 minutes or so. So they had a whole crew.
Nice.
And then so I made like $16 to $17 an hour.
Wow. What decade was this?
And then and then the beauty is we had to wait for another plane to come in, And sometimes it'd be 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours before another plane come. And so we just hung out, doing nothing, waiting around. And we still got paid while we were waiting for another plane to come in.
Wow.
But you haven't heard the best of it yet. Back in a moment. So Treasure Chest now open on D-Line. I'm just over the 30 years of counseling. The one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And there, when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing. Okay, quick announcement. The Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. TheHakeReport.com. And then at 12 noon, a brand new episode of The Fallen State.tv. An interesting conversation with Jason Palmer, not the daddy of Isaac Palmer. Jason Palmer, that's a different Jason, and he is not the daddy of Isaac Palmer, right? But he is a businessman, an investor who ran in the 2024 Democratic Party presidential primary. And he was the only one to beat out Joe Biden in the primary. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Our entire country needs to take the heat down and be willing to have dialogue.
Why are you a part of a party that's so evil?
I'm trying to ignore the fact that you call it an evil party. Sometimes I vote for Democrats. Sometimes I vote for Republicans.
Are you going to vote for the Great White Hope?
I'm not going to vote for him.
What the?
It's not the man's baby.
They kill the baby for breakfast if they've had sex tonight at dinner.
Half chimpanzee, half ape.
What the? Where would enough be enough?
Well, that's a good question.
Amazing. The Fallen State at 12 noon today. Support the Fallen State right there by going to rebuildingtheman.com. No, I'm sorry. By going to thefallenstate.tv. Thefallenstate.tv or Locals. Click in the link in the description. Locals. You can support us there. And then at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. At 4 p.m. today. Natural Energy. You don't want to miss it. The American Anchor Baby at 4. And then Church on Sunday. All are invited. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. right here in L.A. West L.A. to be exact. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. Meeting starts at 11 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Come on down. All are invited. All right? And then, last but not least, for personal shout-outs, birthday shout-outs, weddings, anniversaries, encouragement, whatever, congratulations. I do the shout-outs for you. So go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. So just to end my story about White History Month there, July is White History Month. So Hake, I was telling you, Hake and the Anchor Baby, I worked for American Airlines. I had a day job and a night job. I worked at the hospital during the day from 6 a.m. to 3 or something like that. And then at night, I would go over to American Airlines, and I worked there.
Cool.
And I was making $16 to $17 an hour to start, and plus overtime and all that. And an amazing medical package. It was an amazing job. But what was really, really fun about that job is that if you worked for the airline in those days, I don't know what it's like now, you could travel free, first class. I was thinking about Howard Hughes. You can go anywhere in the world. And then at the time, American Airlines had first class. They had the back class for the poor people too, but first class. But they had an upstairs lounge. You ever been on one of those planes?
Oh, on the plane?
Yeah.
An upper deck?
Yeah, upper deck.
I have heard of that. I don't know if I've been on one. I might have been on one.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So not only did you have downstairs first class, but after if you just want to relax and walk around and watch TV or listen to music or look out the window, whatever, and have some snacks and drinks and stuff, go upstairs, you can get more.
Wow.
And just walk around. Upstairs while the plane's flying.
Yeah.
Upstairs. And I thought I felt like a white man up there.
And you got hooked on first class.
I got hooked. It felt whenever I did have to fly in the back after all that was over, I felt like a slave. Felt like I was going back into slavery.
Indeed. Like those slave ships.
Right. But you can these are stuff spin around like that, you go all the way upstairs.
That's cool.
Isn't that amazing?
Double-decker.
Double-decker. And
Dreamliner.
And then if I flew another airline, when I say anyone who worked for American Airlines, it was just the only thing you had to pay was taxes.
Oh, wow.
Or any other airline anywhere. Isn't that amazing?
That is.
Those were the good old days. See why I want my America back?
I see it. I can understand.
Incredible.
That used to be my America. You could make real money. You could be young. I lived in a brand new apartment. It's just everything.
Right.
And then guess what happened? And I will never forgive this person.
They unionized?
I won't forget, nor will I forgive. Nor will I forgive. Ronald Reagan came along.
Oh.
And when Ronald Reagan became president, the unions had a strike at the airport.
Oh, they were already unionized.
Yeah, they were already unionized.
Okay.
And they had a strike and they want more money. That wasn't enough for us. We needed more.
Did they strike because of Ronald Reagan?
And no. They strike because they want more money or something.
Okay.
Better package. It was already an amazing package. I was satisfied.
Right.
But I was in my 20s flying high.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. But Ronald Reagan, what happened was they went on strike. The airlines went on strike, and they stayed on strike for so long. Ronald Reagan got mad and fired everybody.
You got fired?
At the airport, I got fired.
Ronald Reagan fired you?
Yes. He ended the strike.
Whoa.
And when he ended the strike, the airline cut back on everything, and we got laid off.
Wow.
And it's never been the same.
The golden age ended.
Airport, never been the same. But Ronald Reagan did that. And he was a Republican, right?
Yep.
How will I ever forgive him for such an amazing life?
Ending the golden age of aviation.
He did, man. It was like everything went flop.
Playtime is over.
It was over. It was over except the fat lady singing. Well, maybe she did sing.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. Ronald Reagan laid all of us off.
So the new employees that came on, did they have amazing deals like you had, or did they downgrade everybody?
I don't know, but I think they downgraded.
Because they could.
I don't think the airport ever been, flying or aviation ever been the same.
But it was kind of like
I don't know.
It was kind of like the communists asked for too much.
Yeah. The union took the joke too far.
They should have been content with what they had.
Yeah.
We could have kept having it.
Yeah.
But
it was
a
black.
Everything.
Can you imagine being in my 20s and living like that? And I was black.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was black. I thought I was just living.
Right.
Can you see how my parents prepared me to just go and have a life?
Yeah.
I came out of California, I was just having a life. I went into the black thing. But anyway, amazing story, huh?
Amazing white history moment there.
Amazing white history. White History Month. We're gonna celebrate with our friends. White History Month. July will always be White History Month. Amazing. All right, those are my experts for at least two of them. Nice. Derek said, my producer, he said, I've never been on one of those. I don't even think they have them anymore. Those kind of playing with the double-deckers. They may have them, but I don't even hear about them anymore. Unless they have them for overseas or something. And not today, but another time I'll tell you what my trip was like that I took to Israel in first class. Because I had one of those free packing things, you get automatic upgrade. Oh, my God. If you're going to go to Israel, you do want to go first class. Or don't go at all. No, I'm playing. It was so good. I got a free upgrade to Israel back to and from. But anyway, I want to go to the phones. Let me go to, I would talk to somebody, I forgot who it was.
Denny.
Oh, Denny from Bulgaria. Oh, Denny's is gone. No, I don't blame you, Denny. After all that time. Let me go to, is it Mitchell? Yeah. Mitchell from Kentucky. Mitchell, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How are you, Jesse? I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling.
And I'm enjoying all the shout outs for the White History Month. I forgot all about it. You reminded me.
Thank you, man. Happy White History Month.
And also, the guy answering the phone, you got one of the good ones. You got one of the good ones working for you.
And he's black.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's Derek.
You got one of the good ones, Jesse.
Yeah, a brand new producer of the Destiny Peterson Show. Amazing. Thank you, Mitchell.
But so I originally had a few questions that I can't get to that I've mentioned before. Well, you mentioned venting or like telling our frustrations, whatever, on Fridays. And I don't know how people aren't so much more angry with what's going on in this country right now. Jesse, if you look at everything that's going on, this is not America.
That's for sure.
And America is falling, and everyone is not, we're not doing anything about it. White people have completely bent the knee, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
And I mean, but white people are afraid of being called racist. And anytime you have fear, then you're going to lose because fear is evil. Fear is doubt and worry and everything else. So it's not good to have fear. And until white people overcome their fear, it's not going to get any better.
Well, no, I absolutely agree. And when the Great White Hope, survived, the little libtard trying to shoot him, that was kind of a moment for me when I was like, I can't be scared to state my opinions anymore. And I feel like it didn't just wake me up, it woke a lot of people up. And I'm not sure if you feel the same way or not. But what do you think we do even to get the country back on track? Because it feels like we're on a path where it's going to be very difficult for things to change. I mean, our founding fathers are rolling in their graves.
Well, number one is that all men and women must be born again of the Father, but men got to return back to their natural state. They got to return to the Father, and then and once they do that, they will automatically overcome fear, and they won't be afraid to tell the woman to go sit down. They won't be afraid to speak up about these false ideas of racism. But men got to take over and lead the way because the men are the light of the world and the salt of the earth. And the light is going out. The light of men is going out. And so the women and the children cannot see their way to go. And that's why it's happening. It's a spiritual thing. Until men get stronger, Mitchell, it's not going to work.
No, I completely agree. And, you know, I feel like it's almost like it feels like it's being influenced, whether it's by, you know, other nations, our government, whatever. It almost feels like at times they're using these events to radicalize and, you know, sensationalize all these ideas.
Well, that's what happened.
Even
that's what happened.
Well, I was just going to say, you look at Twitter, before Elon, it was over 50% bots. I think if you look it up, the internet's like 50% bots.
Well, I don't know what bot is, but I do know that things are not going to get better until men return to their natural state of being. And if you notice, men are under attack and serious attack. It's like an emergency attack. They're putting all these women everywhere because they know women is not in their nature to lead, but they were created to follow, so they're doing that. Thank you, Mitchell. I got to run, man. I do appreciate it. Let me go to, is it Markus? Markus, a first-time caller out of Finland. Heard around the world. Markus, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Markus.
You asked me to call you when you were reading the super chats.
Oh, yeah, it was you.
Yeah.
Right on.
So I don't know how to explain it, but when I'm silent praying, most of my thoughts seem to be about this hobby of mine. Like I notice I'm in a thought and it's like, oh, well, I'm thinking about this hobby again. Is that a problem? Like, should I cut back on the hobby or quit it or something?
No, what I recommend you do is to watch it. You watch those thoughts, just watch them. Don't try to push them away. Don't try to control them or deny them. If you just watch them, they will work themselves out. They'll be taken away from you and everything will fall into place.
Okay.
So let's say that you're working on a project and you feel all good about it. And if you just notice that you're feeling good about it, but don't do anything about it, I promise you it'll be taken away from you or they'll work themselves out where it'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I've actually noticed that the hobby isn't that meaningful to me anyway, lately.
Yes.
It's yeah. Yeah, but thanks. Thanks for the clarification.
You're welcome, and thanks for the super chat, and thank you for calling in about it.
Hey, last note, do you want to hear in Finnish what Kamala means? Or you can translate it yourself if you want to, but there's a lot of definitions, but I can just read a few.
Okay.
Horrible, terrible, horrific, awful, dire, dreaded, gross, horrid, dreadful, abysmal.
Wow. That's perfect for the Kamala over here. What the? Wow. That's amazing. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
That fit.
Say hi to everybody in the show.
Absolutely. That fit the vice president perfectly. So-called vice president. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, buddy. Amazing. Let me go quickly to, let me get Hake. I thought he would be here, but hold on.
I'm right here.
Oh. Let me get real fast to Larry. Larry out of Indiana. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me?
Larry, go ahead. Even though I hear some noise there.
Yeah, I'm working right now.
Okay.
Hey, I just wanted to give you a quick call. I had a question.
Okay.
ever since I forgave my mom, I moved down, came to Indiana, XYZ. Long story short, I now got 2 jobs. I'm in the carpentry apprenticeship.
Right
but
on.
it just seems like, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it just seems like I keep having these thoughts about money. I know they're just thoughts, but I'm working. I got another job because I'm able to pay my bills through carpentry. But my second job, I'll be able to save up. But I just keep having these thoughts like, I want money, I want money, I want more, I want more. But then again, I'm like, if I go and I want more, it's not going to come to me. So I sit and I do nothing. Then again, I get the same thoughts like, okay, if I sit and do nothing, and I'm not going to get nothing. And it's like, it's a constant back and forth. I've been going through it, just thinking about this. I want more money, but then again, I don't want to want more money. Does that make sense?
It does. Absolutely. Here's what you do. I guarantee you, if you do this, you watch those thoughts, the ones that tell you want more money and the ones that tell you don't want more money, right? Both those are imposters. Both those are lying. And don't fall for it. Just watch it and continue doing what you're doing. And if you need to make more money, you'll naturally find yourself going out and making more money. But for those thoughts, Larry, let them pass. Those are evil, demonic, wicked thoughts. Let them pass.
Nice.
Yeah, don't freak out on them. Don't do anything, but you just watch them. But do not overreact or react to them at all. And they'll be taken away from you. You'll be fine.
Nice, man. And real quick, I heard you mentioning something about unions. I'm in carpentry, but I'm in a union. Is there something wrong with unions? I hear people say that a lot, like talk about unions, and I just want to see what you think about it.
Union used to be good in that they helped you protect you from the company that would not be fair with you, right? But now unions are no good. It was all about themselves, making buku money, partying, renting cars, and having events. And they support the Democratic Party, and they don't care that you may be a Republican. So they're no good today. I don't even recommend, if you don't have to be a part of it, I wouldn't even waste my money with the union. But at one time they were good. Today they're no good.
Nice. I've heard that, but unions, they offer really great training. So that's really why I'm going to do it. Do carpentry because, if you work with your hands, you'll always have.
That's right.
You'll always be able to make money.
Well,
they got good training. So.
Stay with it until you don't need it anymore.
Nice, man.
All right.
I appreciate it, Jesse.
You're welcome, Larry. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Amazing.
All right, man.
Bye now. The union's always behind communism. And so they have changed over the years. So, and I was looking at those female teachers union or something like that, dumb stuff, yesterday. And they're supporting communism. They support Kamala Harris. It's a mess. Super chat. Super.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Thank you, Jesse. I listen nearly every day. Everybody, remember to give back to Bond. Support what you love or lose it.
That's right. Thank you. Amazing. I appreciate that.
Ruben Jamming bought a coffee. Biblical question.
Have you ever seen God?
I would have said yes 4 years ago, but I do not dwell on it now. I felt a revelation and saw a light in my mind. I saw God's feet, but maybe it was just my imagination.
Running away with me. Thank you for putting your 2 cents in. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. I appreciate it.
B. Johnson, 10 coffees. Happy White History Month, Jesse.
Thank you. July just feels white. You can get your shirt at julyfeelswhite.com or rebuildingtheman.store. Rebuildingtheman.com/store. Yep. Rebuildingtheman.com/store. Thank you.
Also from Court, 12 coffees.
Thank you.
Very generous.
Yeah.
White, his story is key awesome.
July will always be White History Month. Thank you.
Men's his story. Men's history.
August.
2. Get you some history. Make it chew.
Thank you.
I don't understand him, but Joel does.
Amazing.
And some of the people in chat.
Amazing.
Donnie, girl's idea, Rumble rant. Biblical question.
Have you ever seen Gaja?
Yes, every day we are created in his image. Maybe a weak photograph with creases in it, but I have some idea what he must look like. Handsome, strong, and innocent.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. My 2 cents in on Sunday.
Shout out to the top contributors, Games for Rec, Bill West, Groovy Monkey, Wolf336, and the rest of the supporters on the D-Live crew. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
And thank you, everybody. That is all for now.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. And to the rest of the callers, I am so... you saw me. I was trying hard to get to you, but I couldn't. And if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, I'll be back on Monday. You can call me back next week. Thank you. Get on that straight and narrow vote and stay there. You will not regret it if you stay there. Stay, stay, stay. Endure, endure, endure. And when you've done all you can do to endure, endure some more. Stay there and watch. That's all you have to do. Just imagine. All you have to do is watch the ego, thoughts, and feelings. All thoughts are all lies. Anybody that tell you that emotions are good, that's your enemy. Run away from them. Those are your enemies. Hake is coming up now. The Hake Report. And a special guest host. And he feel like a part of the team now. I don't know why he called him special. But Big Bump. Big Bump is here today with Hake on the Hake Report coming up now. And at 12 noon, the FallenState.tv with Jason Palmer, not Isaac's daddy. Isaac Palmer's daddy, no. But, and then at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. And I will see you at Fellowship on Sunday. I wish you all well. For it's so you can have an amazing life right now. You don't have to wait until you drop your body. You don't have to wait until you die. The only death is the ego death anyway. Die from the ego, false self, false identity, and you'll be fine. Amazing today. Thank you all to my experts, my producer, my PR, everybody. JLP Fri, the TV, he black. And everybody, I'll be back. I'll see you at church on Sunday. Take care. Have a good day and a good weekend.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, you know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663.